Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, and the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. I have another pen review for you folks. Mentioned this pen in my weekly recap. Indeed, it's another Majohn or Majohn Moonman offering. It's the P140. Beautiful pen, beautiful acrylic. Some people would say, again, heavily inspired. Majohn has that nasty habit. People will be critical. People will say, no, I'm staying away from it. Personally, I like it. I think it's a nice pen at a nice price. So stay tuned. Fountain Pen Therapy presents the Majohn P140. Okay, here's a pen. Isn't it beautiful? Great stuff. Really nice acrylic. Now, I'm not gonna bother with the box. The box is that standard Majohn box. Nothing really special about it. But here is the pen. Yeah, some people will say, another Montblanc clone. Well, you know what? There's a lot of Montblanc clones out there. Even some with, even you could argue that the Sailor King of Pen is a clone of the Montblanc, or Montblanc is the clone of the King of Pen. It's a cigar-shaped pen. What I find very nice about this pen is the acrylic. I think this clear acrylic is very special. It's crisp, a little bit like the C5. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. Very, very nice. I like its build quality. I like the way it looks. First of all, the finial. Take a look at that finial. Really nice. The clip is well integrated here. It's done very properly. Yeah, it's functional. A little stiff, but functional. Take a look at that band. So that's a unique band. That's not what, Montblanc looks like. Very unique. We'll compare clips in a second. There you have it, the bottom finial. Again, very crisp. Like the gold and brass trimmings. I mean, that piston, it is a piston filler, really comes through here. We'll turn it around in a second. You can see the nib. The nib lines up very nicely. Thank you very much. Let's just see how many turns. We'll remove that. How many turns it takes. That's one. Well, wait a minute. Where did I start? Sorry about that. Okay, start in the center. So that's one. It's 1.5. So it's a 1 3/4, I would say, to reveal this beautiful number 8 size Majohn branded nib. I chose medium again. Very nice feed. I don't think it sure looks like ebonite, but it isn't. I think it's plastic. Now, beautiful brass. I think it's brass. piston. Works very well, as you can see. So, you know, got some decent capacity there. This nib comes out, so you can unscrew it. Oh, I think I just lost an O-ring down there. Hopefully I'll be able to... Okay, here it is. Okay, so it does have a protective O-ring. Now, does it just go there? Or does it... Yeah, it must just go there. So, you know, you can clean it up really nicely. Let me just... whoops. Let me just screw that back in. Here we go. So, is it back properly? I hope so. Yes, it is. Okay, so that looks very nice. Now, in terms of the cap, as you can see, there is that... These pens never really dry up on us. Now, in terms of lining up the nib, what I figured is if you start the nib properly, well, it did work before. So if you start it there, it'll end there, from what I understand, yeah. Not really. Sorry about this. I thought I had figured this out. Not quite. Anyway, there's a way to do it. I won't bore you with that. I'm sure somebody will point out how I should be done. I thought that if you start it out lined, the chances are, but it looks like I have to, yeah, it doesn't quite work. I think I have to start it here. Yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me, but I know some might distract them. It doesn't bother me at all. In terms of here, the way things are finished with the piston, very nice. There is a key that opens that up, the Majohn key. I don't have it readily available in front of me now, but there is one. That's for sure. There you have it. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful pen. A nice size. Does it post? Yes, it does. Posts. I mean, it kind of sits there, so it doesn't really. It's not really back weighted per se. Nice, in fact, but you know it becomes very long, especially when you've got that big size nib. To what extent it's comfortable, it would vary. I don't post my pens, but if you need to post it, it posts very nicely. Thank you very much. So there you have the pen on the outside. I think it's a wonderful pen. A nice addition from Majohn. Let's do some comparisons. Okay, got quite a few pens here. Here's the subject pen right there, okay? And you can compare it to the Mont Blanc. It's slightly bigger than the Mont Blanc. Are the clips the same? Yeah, you could argue that the clips are quite similar, but the band isn't. A very unique band. Similar dimensions, but the Majohn is a little bit bigger. Okay, there you go. And when you compare it to the King of Pens, King of Pen is probably the biggest of the gang here. This is the Ogaiva Omas demo. So it's a little bit more on the thinner side. It is kind of similar to the, what is this number? I think this is the C4, except that this is a, not a vacuum fill, but a plunger. I don't know how you call it, but similar to the Omas. Then you've got here the Jinao 9019, a little bit different, but similar in size. And you got, of course, the C5, which is, I love this pen. And I compared the acrylic to the C5, I would say to you, nice and crisp, although for some reason the C5 is a little bit heavier, probably because of all these rings. But at least they don't have this this small nib clip that a lot of people complain about. Very similar to the Wingsung 630 in terms of size. Even the clip is very similar, except that I think the Wingsung 630 is a much, cleaner imitation, if you will, of the Mont Blanc. So there you have the pens capped. Here are the pens uncapped and unposted, very similar in size to the Sailor King of Pen, the Mont Blanc 149, smaller than the C5, and very similar to both the Jinhao. The C4 is smaller because of the nib, and similar in size to the Wingsung 630. So there you have the pens uncapped and unposted. Here are the pens posted. As you can see, that the Majohn is as big as the C5, bigger than both the Sailor and the Mont Blanc, similar in size to the Jinhao and the Wingsung. And these two, the C4 and the Omas, don't post very well. In fact, even the 630 is not the greatest poster. So there you have the pens posted. We'll do some measurements and then we'll get to the writing sample. Be right back. Back with the writing sample. First of all, the ink. You know what? I tried inking this pen with Éclat de Saphir, and I just couldn't get the ink to be pulled up. I've got a feeling that the breather hole is not at the tip, probably more towards the bottom. I also tried to ink it with this Majohn ink, and as you can see, the level is not quite full. I had a hard time, but the Konpeki, because it does have that, you see that it goes all the way down, I managed to ink up the pen with the Konpeki. So it's Iro Shisuko Konpeki is the ink. This is the notepad. It's a Tomoe River original notepad from Yamamoto paper. Very nice collection I have of these notepads. I have the Sanson, the bank paper, and I also have Cosmic Air Light. Okay, so let's see how this pen writes. This is the, so far so good, folks, Majohn P140 demo. Just because I think maybe they might come up with more models or different colors, etc. The nib is a Majohn number 8 steel medium nib. The ink is Iro Shizuku Konpeki. Can't go wrong with this ink. The paper is Tomoe River, and I'm just going to specify original. Now, the pen itself, very wet. Very constant. Smooth. Just a slight hint of feedback. Not even, I would say to you, very smooth. And reverse writing. Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, you would get probably an extra fine there for those of you who really care about those things. Okay, and so let's get to likes and dislikes. I like the build quality of this pen. Very solid. Like that crystal. Crystal clear acrylic. I like the materials. Combined with the golden brass trimmings. I like the piston filler. I like the value. Fairly good value. I'll put the price up. At least the last time I checked. You know, very comfortable pen, by the way. Comfortable. And that would make it a go-to pen for sure for me. 10 on 10 there. Feel very comfortable writing. Dislike is the design because it may be a déjà vu. You know, it's inspired. Some people will now write to me, shamed on you, Vincent, buying a pen that's a knockoff, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to get into that. I don't think it's a, you know, an outright knockoff. It's not a fake. It doesn't have, you know, the Mont Blanc. There is some differences here. Yeah, it's a cigar-shaped pen, but so are many others. Very nice. I got to tell you. Now, some of you is, do I need another, you know, cigar-shaped pen? No. I'm not here to sell it to you. I'm here to review it for you and to give you an idea. If you want to add it to your collection, is it worth your while? I would recommend it. I would give this pen an 8.8 on 10 at the end of the day. The nib is just outstanding, got to tell you. And now Majohn actually sells the nibs separately with a Bach section. So take a look at Peyton Street, the Ranga pens. Some of the bigger sized ones may have, the pen comes with a Bach section to accommodate a Bach number 8 nib, and you don't have to buy the nib. So you could save a lot of money there, and you can get the pen with no nib at all, and then you can put in some of these Majohn number 8 nibs with the Bach section. They don't always have it. Sometimes they have Magna Carta nibs. Sometimes they have other nibs, but look for that. You might be surprised, and when you have it, it would be a good idea, because I think the Majohn nibs are not even going for less than $20, if I'm not mistaken. But I will put up a thumbnail and any price in the video so that you can enjoy that. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that review. I think it's a nice pen. I'm certainly going to enjoy this in my collection. It writes very, very nicely. That medium nib is just outstanding, just outstanding. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know if you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. I've got 47% of you who watch but don't subscribe. I really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. It doesn't mean that you have to pay anything. Some people think that subscription comes with a cost just because of some of the comments I got. Absolutely not. All it does is it will advise you next time I put up a video, and which is a nice thing. So, you know, if you want to follow my channel, it's perfect. If you don't, all you need to do is unsubscribe. So thank you very, very much. Have a great week. Enjoy your pens. Enjoy your paper. Enjoy your ink. Get some fountain pen therapy. Ciao.